So when we talk about the MSc is almost on the same level as the MAC. The amount of research that you do with the MSc is almost the same as the Master of Architecture. The only difference between that one and the Master of Architecture is that the Master of Architecture is more practical, it's more practically oriented, or it's a professional master's. But the Master of Science is more of academic or more of research. Then we have the Master of Philosophy, which involves a little more research than as compared to the MSc. And then, of course, we have the Doctor of Philosophy, which is like the peak. You do basically almost everything is research. And so the duration also differs depending on the universities. In Ghana here, most master's programs are 2 years, including a Master of Philosophy and then Master of Science. If you school outside, some of them you can use 1 year to finish it. In as much as it's also 2 years or 1 year, sometimes you may end up spending more time depending on the research that you are doing. And then Doctor of Philosophy, normally from 3 years. KNUST is 3 or 4 years. If you other countries, they do it 3 years, others do it 5 years, others also do it 7 years, depending on it. It all depends on the research, and then you, the student. So I just want to talk about some of the benefits of venturing into academia. So one of the main benefits is that, first of all, it helps you to specialize. Now, you know that architecture is very broad. It ranges from the arts to the sciences. And within that continuum, there are a lot of areas that you can specialize. And so taking further studies in architecture can help you to specialize in particular areas. And it also helps you to also explore other areas, which is almost the same as a specialization. So for instance, you know that the bachelor's program and then the Master of Architecture program is generally oriented towards the general practice of architecture. But within that, you don't have the opportunity to specialize in those areas. There are various areas. For instance, we have sustainability, we have architecture history, we have conservation, we have energy utilizations, and all those things. These are broad areas that you can venture into, but you can't do that under the BSc and then under the MAC in our current situation. Of course, if you school abroad, in other schools, at the master's level, you're able to specialize in some of these areas. But in Ghana here, there's not that option. So if you take on further studies, that's when you get the opportunity to also specialize in those areas. And then it helps you to advance your career. And then it also helps you to, in your personal development. Of course, if you school, your thinking capacities develop, and then you're able to think better than before. Then, of course, as you undertake higher education, you develop yourself to the extent that you're able to attract higher earnings. Following that, there's also better employability. Now, if you look at statistics and then you compare the statistics, you see that, for instance, the number of unemployed bachelor's holders are way more than the number of master's students who are unemployed. And the same way, you just get few PhD holders who are unemployed. So as you advance in education, your employability increases. And then you also get the opportunity to network. I heard the previous speaker, Karen, talk to you about the importance of networking. So in this case, whilst you are in school, you also get a lot of classmates. You also see a lot of schoolmates. When you're undertaking your research, you meet a lot of people, and then even the faculty at the university, you meet them, you build a kind of bond, and this will lead to some networking opportunities that will help you in your career. And then, of course, you are able to think critically, and then your self-confidence improves. And the experiences that you gain also helps when you apply it in practice, it increases productivity. So there are various career opportunities that you can venture into after you undertake advanced education. And of course, the most common one is lecturing, where you stay in academia and then you teach, you do research. You can also go back to practice, and it helps you to specialize in particular areas in practice, and it makes your practice also better. Your research that you do also informs your practice. So that's also another option. And then you can also go into full research and then consulting, where you get employed in research institutions, or you stay on your own and then you apply for research grants, and then you undertake your own research and stuff, which will also lead you to consult on projects and other things. And then you can also go into industry. Of course, in Ghana here, you don't really see that much, but if you go abroad, you see that there's a link between the industry and then the academia. The research that is done in academia is what informs what is done in the industry. And so these are career opportunities that you can venture into after you undertake further studies. Now, before you embark on your further studies, there are 4 main questions that you need to ask yourself. The first is, what do I study? Now, whatever you want to study, you should make sure that it is beneficial to you, and then it is aligned with your future goals and then aspiration. You don't just get up and then go apply for a course and then do it because everyone is doing it. You should know what you want to achieve, and is that course that you're applying, is it going to help you? You should think about it. And you should also be strategic. Of course, there are a lot of areas or courses that you can do, but some of them, there are a lot of resource persons or people already in those areas, and all other things being equal, they don't need more experts as compared to other areas. Other areas too are lacking experts, and so you have to be strategic, explore the landscape, and then see which areas are which areas need people who are furthering the education. Other than that, sometimes you end up being unemployed, and so you have to consider that. Then the second question is also, where do I study? The options: do you want to study here in Ghana? Do you want to study in Africa, or do you want to study abroad? Now in Ghana here, even there are different universities. Do you want to study in KNUST? Do you want to study in Legon or any other place? These are a very important decision, because the different locations, the different institutions, they have their requirements and other things. And so depending on where you want to study, you want to know the requirements that you have to satisfy. And then the third question is, how am I going to finance my study? Of course, everything is made possible with money. If you don't have money, you can't embark on your further education. And so you have to be thinking about how you finance it. Are you going to finance it with your personal savings? Are you going to further it with scholarship? Do you have any sponsor? you have to be thinking about this. And the source of your funds should be sustainable. Said that when you are in school, it will be you'll be able to take care of your tuition fee, your accommodation, and then even your daily expenses. Most of the time, as architects, normally you get some PPs and stuff. So even when you are in school, you're okay. You're able to finance it yourself. The other thing to the funding is that you don't have to always have all the money as a goal. Other than that, you may never start. So sometimes you have to take a bold decision. For instance, if you have money that you think that it can take you through the first year, you just start. And for all that you know, you find ways and means, and then you finish. So in as much as you are thinking about how to finance your study, don't also let it be a stumbling block. Once you get enough up to a point, you just start, and then things will fall in place. And then finally, you have to also think about how to study. Do you want to study as a regular student? Do you want to do it on a part-time basis or on a distance basis? Now, these have their pros and cons. For instance, if your study is full-time or regular, it means that you can't work. And so you need to make provision for your finances. On the other hand, if you are doing it on part-time basis, you know that you are going to also spend more years. And so you need to also think about this critically. Now, one key word that you have to know when undertaking further studies is sacrifice. For instance, the time that you are undertaking your further studies, you find out that your mates will be practicing, and some of them will even be marrying and stuff, but you will still be a student. And so if you don't understand this, you may struggle. You should understand that to catch a fish, you have to use a fish to catch it. So there are some aspects of your life that you have to sacrifice to be able to embark on your further studies. If you want to do everything at a go, if you want to practice seriously, if you want to study seriously, in fact, you can't do everything at a go. And eventually, if you don't let some aspects of your life go, you'll not be able to finish. There are a lot of situations where people have started their further studies, and then 1 year, 2 years time they quit. So you need to sacrifice to finish. Other than that, you will not finish. And before you apply for your further studies, be it here in Ghana or be it abroad, there are some basic things that you need, basic documents or basic things that you need to do. First of all, you have to develop a research proposal. And I believe most of you know what the research proposal is. Basically, it's a summary of the research that you want to do. And it doesn't have to be perfect at this stage because you are now applying, you are coming to school to learn. So the next thing is to contact an academic staff. I mean, most of you are already in school, so most of you are familiar with the academic staff. But if you want to undertake further studies, normally, before you even apply, it's better to contact at least one academic staff in the university that you want to apply, who is a specialist in the area that you want to undertake your research. And it helps. That person can even help you develop your research proposal. At times, they will even already have some research projects that they are working on, and then they may even want you to take part of that. And usually that comes with funding. So they can even sponsor your further studies from there. So it's very important before you embark on your further studies, especially with the MPhil and then the PhD. You need to contact an academic staff, and then further you write your motivation. Now the motivation is basically a 1-page or 2-page write-up that talks about why you are interested in the area that you want to research, and it's very personal. You use your personal experiences to explain how you had interest in that area and some of the things that you've already done within the period to develop your capacity in that area. Then, of course, you prepare your CV and then your educational certificates. And then you also obtain your transcripts from your previous education. And then you obtain your recommendation letters. Now, normally, recommendation letters, you normally for every school, you need like 2. Some may be higher. So you need, it should be prepared by someone who has taught you before. In some cases, they allow maybe your employer or your let's say your pastor or someone who knows your social life to also write a recommendation, let's say, for you. Now, there are additional things that you can also do. This is not very important, but especially those who want to undertake their further studies abroad. If you take part in conferences, workshops, and forums where you're able to do presentations, present articles, and then come up with some things, some creative things, normally it helps your chances of being admitted. And then if you also take up leadership roles, it also boosts your chances. And then when you also write articles and then blog posts and stuff, it also boosts your chances. And then, of course, when you publish papers, it also boosts your chances. So after you have applied, the next thing will be an interview. So you have to prepare for an interview. And basically, there are 4 main things that at the interview stage they are interested in. So first of all, they are interested in your previous education experiences, and then the research that you undertook. Probably your transcript, they will go through your transcript. They will see that you did well in certain subjects, you didn't do well in certain subjects. They will want maybe a clarification why you did well here and then why you didn't do well here and stuff. And then the previous research that you did, your undergrad dissertation and then your MArch thesis, probably they will want to know something about it. And then secondly, your research proposal, the one that the proposal that you are going to research on, they will want to also ask questions to know whether you really understand what you want to do. And then, of course, they will also want to know how you intend to finance your study. And then finally, most of the time, most people who start further studies, they quit. So they will want you to explain why, prove whether you prove that you not quit. Of course, they may ask other questions, but these are the 4 main areas that most of the time they are concerned with. And then after you've gained admission, you just follow school regulations, you register, you go to class, you do your things as a student. Of course, even though the stipulated time may be like 3 years or 4 years, some people may finish before the stipulated time, some people will finish on time, other people will take extra time due to various reasons, and then the research that they are doing. And so in as much as you also bound by time, sometimes you don't look at your mates. I mean, it's you. So just do your best and then finish. and that is it. Yes. So on this note, I want to thank you very much, and then I want to invite questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Architect Emmanuel Banahene. Please, if you have any questions, please send them to the chat box so that he can reply. Thank you.